This demo is for the provider portal, demonstrating how to access and bill for an initial IFSP and IFSP services that are provided. In this example, we are logged in as Tracy Test Provider. We'll go to My Client Cases, and we can see that Tracy Test Provider has Test Kid assigned and under their client cases. We can see the add a service. The status is initial IFSP. This child has not yet had an initial IFSP developed, so there's no IFSP to review, and we can see the associated CCB. We can view this, to view this, you'll have to click on Evaluation Assessment Initial IFSP. So for Test Kit, we are going to go ahead and add a service. This is an activity. We're going to add a new activity. We're going to select the date of the evaluation. We can make that today. And we need to select what the service is. Again, this is an initial IFSP development. So we are going to go ahead and call this Assessment Initial. Soon as I can find it. Assessment Initial. How many units? So we're going to say that this took an hour and a half. So it was 6 units. And we're going to go ahead and assign what the hourly rate is. I'm making this up as $90. We can add a CPT code here. Or we can just type participation in initial IFSP. This is an optional activity description, so it does not need to be filled out. The date, the type of assessment, units, and the rate are required. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. I go back to My Client Cases. I can see the activity was created for 6 units at $90 an hour. I have the ability to edit or delete this if needed. So the pencil icon is to edit. The delete icon is to remove or delete. The trash icon, I'm sorry. Now we're going to go ahead and look at what providing direct services in the provider portal looks like. So I'm going to change to a different provider. I'm going to go to My Client Cases. And we are going to add services for this child, Christian Martin. Christian has been associated with this provider in the EI data system, so the provider has access to view the IFSP and to add services. So for Christian, we're going to click Add Services. You can see in the top left, you have his name, session information, so what the service is. This is occupational therapy, total units allowed, and total units. So units allowed is how many units per session, and total units is what is left in the IFSP year. For Christian, we can go back a month or we can bill up through today. We obviously cannot bill any future dates of service. So for Christian, I'm going to say there was an activity on Tuesday. It defaults to 4 because that's the allowed units. I'm going to go ahead and add a rate of $90. Description is optional. I'm going to pick a CPT code. And I have the ability to upload files. So I can go ahead and upload a file. I'm going to pick something from my documents. And I'm going to pick this progress note template. It'll take a second to load, and then a green check and a done box will appear. I'm going to go ahead and save this. So now, if I refresh the calendar view for Christian, I need to go back to his calendar. I can see I billed 4 units on Tuesday the 2nd. So I'm going to bill additional units for Tuesday the 9th. New activity. I'm going to go ahead and try and bill 6 units. still at $90 an hour with a CPT code. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to skip uploading a file right now. You can also drag and drop from somewhere else on your computer. But I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Because 6 units is greater than the 4 units allowed, it asks if I want to proceed. I'm going to go ahead and say yes and click save. And then it's asking for a justification. Why were there more units than what's allowable on the IFSP? And there are 4 options: makeup visit, time added to session, exceeded time, community partner involvement, family circumstances required additional support, accompanying family to appointment or outing. I am going to go ahead with family circumstances required additional support and save that. Sorry about those error messages. If I refresh and go back to Christian on the calendar, you can see that we did in fact see him for 4 units on Tuesday the 2nd and 6 units on the 9th. Now, in addition to the 4 units on the 6th, I want to add mileage. So I don't need to edit this, but I do need to add a new transaction. So I'm going to click new. I am going to select mileage. I'm going to select how many miles I traveled. I'm going to go with 25 and select the rate, which I believe is 56 cents. And I'm going to go ahead and save this. So now for Christian on May 2nd, you can see I have my occupational therapy visit and I have my mileage. These are both in pending status. So we're going to go look at another child to show what it looks like after the local program has approved or rejected services. So for Tabitha McRoberts, I'm going to look at her calendar, and I'm going to do that by adding services. And if I look at Tabitha, I'm going to go to April. I can see that instead of just the blue number of 4, I have my visits outlined in either green or red. So if I want to view additional details, I can click on this green box and it'll show me that this was set to ready for invoicing. Or it may show me that, oh, they're both ready for invoicing. Now, if I click on a red box, I can see a reason for rejection. So in this instance, there were 5 units billed where 4 is allowable. The provider said that family circumstances required additional support. However, the local EI program did reject this request. So they said additional units not pre-approved. This is going to be up to each local early intervention program to determine the process for approving or rejecting additional units over what's listed on the IFSP. Thank you for watching this demo. Please reach out if you have any questions.